Hello everyone, it's Melanie here with Vintage Hill Studio. Today we're going to do a little hand coloring on an autumn wreath, and this is what the card looks like. The wreath is from PrettyPinkPosh. It's a clear stamp set, and I'm going to be using my Tonic Studios stamping platform to get this all set up. So my card base this week is 5 by 7 inches. It's on a craft heavyweight cardstock. And I'm going to use the clear side of the stamping platform. I don't know if you can see this, but it says clear. That's for clear stamps. The other side is if you have rubber stamps. So I'll get my stamp peeled off of the packaging here and get that situated on the front of my card, and then I simply just close the lid, and I'm going to be using this VersaFine brown ink to ink up my stamp. Okay, just give that a little press and the stamp sticks to the stamping platform lid. It's ready for you to do your inking. This comes in very handy if you don't get a clear, crisp, stamped image on the first time. So the magnets hold the paper in place for you, allowing you to restamp in the exact position so that you can just get a crisper image. That should do it. Beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to use the Autumn Greetings little sentiment that came with the stamp set, and I'm going to put that right in the center. And then we'll be ready to move on to our coloring. So as you can see from this wreath, there are it's a pretty busy little wreath. And the images making up the wreath are tiny. They're tiny, tiny little images. So what works best for me when working with these little bitty images is colored pencils. I want to make sure that I have a really sharp point on each pencil. And I'm going to go slowly at first to show you just some basic coloring. I try to use at least 3 colors, a light, a medium, and a dark. I'm sorry if I'm a little off camera here, but I'll get this straightened out in just a second. And then you just simply blend between your colors. And you can see I'm doing these on a little scrap piece of that same craft cardstock, because you can't always count on the color that's on the tip of the pencil or on the body of the pencil. Sometimes those aren't quite true, so I like to use a little scrap of the same material that I'm working on to see what the colors will look like. Now I just have a hodgepodge of different pencils. I would love to get a set that has the gradiated colors, 3 of each. But I don't have that right now, so I'm just going to use what I have. Now I've started with the lighter color, and then I'm going to a medium red here. And as I add each shade, I'm going back over the previous color to blend them together. This is a lot of fun to do, actually, and I just think it comes out really beautiful. So I use a little bit of a white pencil here, and you'll see that picks up whatever color you're using and does a great job of kind of blending across that genre. So with the red there, you can see it pulls that red color into the white. It gives me a nice highlight, but it also kind of blends that red out as well. It's not just a stark white like I did on the stem. Okay, I'm going to do these. Now, when I make this card and I'm not doing a video, I go through and color all of the same similar images while I have my colors out. So in other words, I would do both sets of the mushrooms on here at one time, not switch between colors like I'm doing for the video. But in order to speed up this video a bit, I'm just going to do some of the basic shapes, not all of them on video, but just some of the basics, so you can see what colors I chose and how I did my blending and highlighting. And then off camera, I will go through and finish up all the other images. So I'm going to turn on a little music later on for you as I speed through more of this coloring. You can see how beautiful job these pencils do. And these aren't, the best pencils that are out on the market, but they work. So again, using my scrap to look at some oranges that I have to see how those are going to blend. Now that one broke off. So some of these are very soft ends on these pencils. You have to be careful. Okay, I'm trying to get a blend here for a leaf. And this one looks pretty much like the middle tone on the other one as well. So again, I'm going to speed this up as I go through several of these little images, not doing the whole wreath on the video. I'm sorry here, I was a little off camera again as I'm trying to look over the camera and do the coloring and do this video, so forgive me for that, but I think you can see how this leaf comes together. Starting with the light, then moving into the medium, and then finally into the dark, and blending between each color, just going back and forth as often as you need to make sure you have a really good blend here between your colors. All right, I'll catch up with you later. with a brown marker and I'm just going to add dots to this wreath. Just going around the whole perimeter, adding a few dots here and there. And then I'm going to go to the top of those acorns and give those a little score line with this fine tip marker. It's just a little bitty detail, but I like doing that for my acorns. I'll give you a close-up look on that here in just a second. And there is my finished wreath. It just makes such a beautiful image with all those colors. Now I'm going to come over with a couple of mats. The stripe mat is 2 by 5 inches. I'll get that put down at the bottom edge of my card there. And then I will have 2 solid strips, a dark brown and then one out of the same craft that the card is made out of. And I'm going to run those through my embossing machine, just to give a little texture. So I liked using this darker at the bottom and the lighter at the top. This is an Organic Flourish embossing strip from Cuttlebug. And I'll get each one of those strips put into my embossing machine. This is a Sizzix Texture Boutique, one of my favorite tools on my workspace here. I use it quite often for smaller embossing projects. And I'll get that run through very quickly, and you'll see that this adds just the right amount of detail with that little bit of flourish to cap off that bottom mat, again with the dark brown, and the craft will go at the top of my card. And I'll get those put down very quickly, and that will finish the card for today. So I hope you enjoyed watching a little bit of this coloring. I know it was sped up quite a bit, but this is one of my longer videos and I didn't want to take up a lot of time doing the whole wreath. It really doesn't take that long if you're not trying to get that put into a video. And it's really relaxing to do the coloring. So if you haven't tried colored pencils for some of your smaller images like this, the details of this wreath, maybe you want to give that a try. You can come up with some beautiful color combinations just by using pencils. Thank you so much for dropping by today. Please feel free to leave me a comment. And thank you to all my followers who are returning to see me each week. I enjoy spending a little time with you, and I hope you get some inspiration from some of the projects that I complete and put up on these videos. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to become a new subscriber. If you're watching from your phone, it'll be down below the video. It'll say subscribe. If you're watching from your laptop, you can subscribe right here. And pop over to my blog for a list of supplies. Happy crafting, everyone!